and League of Legends. Alright, let's get this started off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another round of League of Legends. Today, the FourCourtJester with his sidekicks taking on a whole bunch of stream viewers, and we're going to be bringing it to you live. FourCourtJester and Scandhi. How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing fantastic, man. First time fully doing a cast of League of Legends, so I'm super pumped up about that. Last game we did, I was actually just kind of getting more background information about everything on League as I went from pub stomping to ranked playlist, but you know, I'm excited to see how everything goes.
Well, it should be a very entertaining game. Strato is really well known for putting on a show. We do got Frank Miri in there from IPL. He is on the purple team, last slot on the left-hand side. Ovansama does a lot of charity work. And Ewinia there, the founder of the League of Girls here in League of Legends. So, you know, a lot of people coming out showing their support for you in your casting initiative.
Well, you know, I appreciate it. I mean, I love all of my fans very, very, very much. And I think everyone just... Since there's no Halo there, everyone's just kind of like, we need something to fill that, you know, that hole that was left in us. And as we're seeing as the first pick, Strato is going to pick up the Lux. Have to say, the thing I do like about Lux is you're going to see a couple different combinations with Lux. You can see either the mid Lux or you can see the bottom Lux support, which I'm actually a fan of the bottom Lux support because that snare or that bind does such a good job at setting up your AD carry for good kills.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to disappoint you because Strato is really well known for his mid-Strato Lux build. He is going to take Teleport with the Flash. And if it's not going to be Flash, it's going to be Clairvoyance. Yes, that's right. You heard me. Clairvoyance. Do you know why?
Wow.
He just doesn't want to miss. When he has that ultimate ready to go and you got one hit point, he needs that vision and he will hunt you down. He's really well known for that.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, as we're looking on the other side, Teemo getting picked. Teemo known for his universal passive,
taunt.
Which is a taunt.
Yep.
And of course, Graves. You can never go wrong with the Graves. Very, very strong player. That dash is going to give you that extra attack damage, or attack speed, sorry. And with this ignite there, so it'll be doing some pretty good damage. But isn't it normal that we see AD carries now actually grab heal?
It was for a time, but I'm seeing less and less of that now, believe it or not.
Really? Why is that? Do you know?
Well, it really depends. You know, what's the support going to be here for Graves, or how aggressive do these guys want to be playing these lanes? Now, you see Ewinia, she's picking up Misfortune with a bit more of a standard heal, but again, we don't know what the support is going to be. And, of course, they are free to change their summoner spells before they do go live. A lot of the time, they'll just put up these filler ones, and they'll just keep trying to troll us. That's why I typically don't bother talking about them.
Well,
you might run into trolls. I'm just warning you right now, Scott.
Well, hey, this is what you're here for. But hold the phone. Do you see who just got locked in?
Mm-hmm.
The buffed Xin Zhao.
Yep.
His ultimate now, if you can bring up his abilities for the people at the stream at some point, it is ridiculous. I don't even know how to explain it, so can you explain it? I just know it does a shit ton of damage and it seems a little bit overpowered.
Well, I'm assuming that they have updated these, and we're going to go with that. But the Crescent Sweep is an AoE damage that is going to now be knocking them back, but it also deals damage based upon their current health. So it scales very much with the state of your enemies. And you can see that in other champions as well. For example, Darius with his ult. If you can actually bring them low enough and kill them, he's just going to get a free reset. So, you know, there are these modifiers in League of Legends, but the Crescent Sweep was remade with Xin Zhao. Came out today. Like, today is the day of patch, and check out TB Fanboy. What's he going to be rocking in that jungle?
Oh, the Evelyn pick. There's no way it's going to be Eve.
The remade Evelyn pick. Oh,
that is true, and you know, I did not get to see the patch update, so I didn't get to actually see what all is new from her. So maybe, but the Rocka coming up as the last pick with L Cloud FF7 or 1 Cloud. I can't tell if that's a 1 or an L. I don't have my glasses on.
It is an L, but it doesn't matter in this context. But you know,
yeah, I figured.
The Twitch and Evelyn remakes today did come out. They're very new, and because they're very new, they're very strong right now because a lot of people don't know how to counter them. Now again, we got trolled. It wasn't Evelyn. It is indeed Skarner.
I mean, I told you that was gonna happen.
Yep. I know. I'm just saying it is a lot more played in these last few hours, ever since the patch update, than they probably have been in the last 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, most likely. The thing I do like about Skarner is as soon as you get that frozen heart, you have that slow, and you have so much armor as well. And with Skarner, as you have a natural slow anyways, you get set up very well for those pulls. And if you get a good pull on them, you're setting up Misfortune to get pretty easy kills.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I am a fan.
It is going to be very useful mid to late game, especially now with Ovan Sama, that Jinzhao in there. And Strata will also have some bindings and a really big range linear nuke to bring to these tables.
The Ahri. Oh man, Ahri. Such a terrifying mid in every way, shape, and form.
She's so terrifying, they had to nerf her.
They did?
Mm-hmm.
Like, recently?
No, not this patch. Last patch.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yep.
Old 17 Tails, Ahri herself, is known for just taunting, flying in as soon as she hits level 6, and giving 0 cares and destroying her opposition.
Now, before they did do these picks, we did actually have bans out there, Ghandi. You can see them a bit more towards the bottom. So the Shen, Jace, Caston. Caston is a very terrifying mid, especially up...
He's a Rift Walker.
Well, especially up against a Lux, which is why Strato probably decided to ban him. Jace is a very strong top lane, and Shen is a very strong jungle or split push, so I'm not too surprised about those bans whatsoever. What is Purple Team rocking for bans?
Well, instantly you're going to see the Morgana pick, which was second, of course. But Morgana and Malphite, these are the two normal picks that I always ban. And then ending with Darius. I normally don't ban Darius. I actually prefer to ban Amumu, but Darius, with the way that his ult respawn, or I don't know how to explain his
resets.
Ultimate, but yeah, the way his ultimate resets upon getting the killing blow is extremely overpowered, and not to mention he does have that pull. And that pull can pull 3 enemies, I do believe. So that alone is going to make him a very, very dangerous subject, and you don't really want to deal with that top lane.
Strato might have taken a little bit of wind out of his, with our talk of the summoners. For example, if the enemy team is listening, or either team is listening, and they can look into our client, they can see what the other summoners are on everyone. So... Yep, I shouldn't have talked about it. My bad, Strato. I do apologize. I didn't think it would be that big a deal this round.
Wait, I'm confused. What has happened?
So, when we started up the game, we started talking about the summoners. But usually you can't see the summoners until the game goes live. So, for future, like for some of the bigger, more important casts out there, don't talk about summoners, and also you're going to need to cover them up if you're streaming them, so that nobody can look at them during the picks and bans phase.
Okay, so in that time, what are you supposed to talk about?
Picks, bans, who's...
Oh, you're talking about it hypothetically.
Okay, look at my stream, right?
Okay.
Well, okay, you don't have to, but everybody has the 2 summoners, and what most people do is I just clicked a button, and now you can't see them. And if we don't talk about them, the enemy team, if they're ghosting, won't be able to plan their own summoners to counter the other team's summoners.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I didn't think it was going to be too much of an issue for your first one, but Strato's bitching about it, so...
Of course. I mean, that's prima donnas, man. You can't escape them. That's how it always is in everything.
Yep. So we do got a minute left here to wind down. As you did say, Darius as a top lane, he is a monster.
Yeah.
But, back when he was released, he was an insta-ban as well. And it seems that Scatcat, the team captain here of Team Purple, decided he didn't want to deal with that, since I assume he will be going top to try to deal with everything.
No. The Realist should be going... are you telling me that there's going to be a Lee Sin support?
It's either that or Teemo. There's no other way to rock it.
Oh, man, this... Very, very interesting team makeup here for the Purple team, to say the very least.
What's Blue Team going to be? What's your take on that?
Well, I already know Strato's going to be mid. So clearly then we're going to see the Misfortune, Soraka bottom lane, which is pretty standard. You have your support with your Clairvoyance, with your Misfortune, which, if seeing as she does have a Soraka, she really has no need to have heal. Soraka's heal alone is very, very overpowered. And then that's going to leave Zen at the top lane, which I was actually surprised about that. I would have rather seen the Zen jungle, just because I have seen it have so much success in pub matches, and now since he's got buffed, it only makes sense that we would see more Xin jungles.
Well, Jin jungle is good, but he also was able to rock a really good top lane way back in the day. So with this new summoner, remake, I have been watching Guardsman Bob do a lot of Xin Zhao play. He was a very big advocator of Xin Zhao, and out there on the European servers, he has definitely been doing a good number in terms of even solo midding Xin Zhao. Believe it or not.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How does that work?
I don't know, but Guardsman Bob is literally a god. That's all I can say about it.
Well, I'll take your word on it.
Yeah, so you...
And Strato's computer. There's always that one person who delays everyone else from enjoying the game immediately. You know what I'm talking about.
He's playing on an iPhone. Give him some slack.
Yeah, he's playing on a 1990s calculator.
Exactly right. A TI-82. Yep.
Yeah, the TI-82.
It's not looking good for the realist either. He's rocking about 700 ping. That is...
Yeah, he's doing a good job though. But he does have the Lee Sin with the tiger tattoos on both arms.
Big fan, huh?
Yeah, I mean he's got the basketball shorts. He's got the long hair. Long hair don't care. Basketball shorts, tiger tattoos. He's a fearsome guy.
Now, in terms of the two junglers, we do got a Skarner and an Olaf. Both of them have pretty decent clear times. In terms of, pressure early game, I kind of got to give it a little bit more to the true damage Olaf. But what's your take on the situation?
I was actually thinking the exact same thing. I think Olaf alone, with that vicious strikes, it just puts out so much damage. And plus that axe, I do believe as a jungler you grab the axe first. I'm sure everyone plays it a little bit differently, but by grabbing that axe first, you can pick it up and you can just keep sitting there and chucking it over and over again throughout the jungle and doing so much damage over time. So grabbing that's going to give him a slow, and it does put out a good amount of damage. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw red team maybe go for an evade. I'm a huge fan. I'm a sucker for invades.
Oh yeah?
I don't know about you, but I'm a sucker.
Depends on my team comp and who I'm playing with, really is what comes down to it. It does look like you are calling it pretty correctly. Look at that. Super sick scrub already down there in the tri-bush, and it does not look like that the blue team is actually going to do a 5-man stack defense or even a neural network defense. They're just kind of in their each areas. And Winia will find super sick scrub in there with the axe. Going to come out, does get that slow, is going to blow the ghost, and that is going to force her to flash on out. So there goes two summoners right off the bat.
Yeah, and now here comes the rest of the red team. Olaf forced to go B there in that scenario. He luckily he didn't have to go against a Tark who had a stun level 1. He got a little bit overzealous there, pushing in on Misfortune close to the turret, which is something you're never gonna see a level 1 dive. It just never happens.
So I'm just gonna pause the game here at 133, Scott. And I want to go over a little bit about the two placements of the teams. So Team Blue here, TB Fanboy, going to start off at the Wolves with the help of Strato, and he should be able to finish it up in time to actually take the blue just as it spawns. We're going to have a nice leash from Strato and business as normal. But as you did see, we saw the red invade on the right-hand side to that bottom lane. Had the rest of the team actually been with him for that kill, that would have been a very quick first blood, which is why you typically see 5-man stacks. Because the 5-man stacks are very powerful, especially early game, and if you're going to be face-checking a bush, it's almost an insta-kill. So I think it's a little bit of a mistake here for the Team Red, and as you did see, Super Sick Scrub had to go back to town. Thankfully, it's early enough that he will get to his blue on time with a nice leash from Daniel Z or perhaps Miri, and it's going to be business as normal. That's how I see this.
Yeah, absolutely. Play? We good?
3, 2, 1, play.
And one thing to note is the realist actually is still in his base. And actually, no, now he is moving, so round of applause there. But we see as the Wolves will be started once again here for the purple team.
Yeah, there goes the Wolves. TB Fanboy on blue, able to pick it up. It does look like Lee Sin top, so it's not a support Lee Sin. I am a little fearful of his ping, however.
Yeah, Lee Sin top. That's going to leave Teemo down there with
Graves.
Graves. Now, with that said, both of these people, normally in competitive play, you're going to see them both stack or be played AD. I'm thinking in this scenario, the only way it can truly work is if Teemo uses his passive a lot where he sits still, lets Graves farm up, and then tries to bait the other team in. And he also goes AP, so his blinding dart is a complete nuisance, and he is just able to spam it.
Yeah, Blinding Dart is a really big counter to a lot of the AD comps, especially mid to late game, but it's not a terrible idea to build him AP, and that is exactly what you're going to see looking at his summoner stats. He has a lot of spell penetration right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he really does. So I guess we will see the AP Teemo here. And the one thing I want to talk about with Teemo, which is a common mistake, is when your first thing you should get, you shouldn't stack the blinding dart. You should actually just the poison dart alone just does so much damage over time, and it helps you CS that much more. And that's something that a lot of people don't do right with Teemo from what I've seen.
A little bit of exchange going on up top. Ovansema dropping pretty low here to this Lee Sin, but the big burst comes out and the ignite. It is going to be the first blood. You can see the health potion ticking away on Ovansema, keeping him just barely alive, and you can see the response from Olaf saying, if he sticks around, I am still getting this kill, but unfortunately, Jin Zhao is going to go right to tower.
Yep.
You can see that axe, the desperation axe.
Yeah. Well, luckily for Olaf here, he gets to come up here, hit the creeps a little bit, maybe level up from his jungle, which he is now a level 4, and as Skarner is a level 4 as well, staying up on everything. But Skarner really doing an excellent job in this jungle here. He's got 22 CS with that regrowth pendant, and the thing I don't like about Skarner personally is that he's kind of useless at ganking, in my opinion, until he hits level 6.
As I said, the early game pressure is leaning a little bit more towards Olaf in our collective opinion here, but it's not all, you know, bad news for that early game, because he is fairly durable and he does have a lot of slowing capabilities with him, so he can just make a face in terms of just pressure, but at the same time he could also easily go counter jungling.
Yeah, very, very easily.
Which he's not doing.
Yeah, no. Not in the slightest. Counter jungling is also counter jungling is one of those things that it's so methodical, and you have to think about your moves so often that every time I jungle, I don't even try, not even in the slightest.
Well, I'm looking at this team fight down south. Scatcat is going to be burning a lot of hit points, trying to get the kill on top of Soraka, but between the bananas as well as Awinia on that misfortune, they do have to back on out. No kills going down, but just a lot of pressure in this bottom lane. Team Red really putting up a lot of deeps. Now you can see the gank coming in mid.
Oh, the failed flash! No, he did it!
Well, it's a failed flash, but it also kept him out of that charm, and now he's able to really try to juke out and keep Super 6 Scrub at bay as he just tried to trade off for that damage. He is going to avoid the axe. He is going to be going the long way around. If Miri comes down here, it could be a good situation, but the fake out Strato has really done it right here. Has no idea what Olaf is doing. Oh.
Very interesting play there. Strato is just going to walk straight into the lane and say, oh, hey, by the way, man, I was just hanging down in the bush.
Map awareness, man.
Absolutely.
Now, so that failed flash, you know, didn't turn out nearly as bad as he might have thought.
You know, I'm starting to think if he actually did hit the flash, he would have died.
Yeah, because there was an Olaf right there.
Yeah. And an Olaf going against a Lux with, you know, a total of, what? 740 health, that's like a guaranteed kill.
Now we did have an attempted lane gank coming in from TB Fanboy on the bottom. He does have that red, and if he can land one auto attack with that red, the slowing capabilities would probably be enough to secure a kill, but you can see Team Red hugging the tower right now. They are a little too afraid to go out and about into the world, but Skarner is indeed gone. And, you know, we do have Olaf top, so there's not going to be too much of a response in that bottom lane, but Scatcat not looking so good.
Yeah, and meanwhile in the top lane there, Olaf attempted to go up for a gank. Lee Sin doing an excellent job of putting down that ward right a little bit away past Baron. So that gave him vision. He was able to back up accordingly, and now he's able to still keep the pressure on. And in this top lane, I really don't know who I favor. Even though Zen was able to get that first kill on him. Oh, here comes the moves. He has the ignite. Will he be able to get the lunge?
He's out of mana.
No. But what I was saying was I really don't know who has the upper hand. I've yet to see the new Zen actually be played. So his ultimate really looks impressive.
Well, if we did have one more spell's worth of mana there for Xin Zhao, might have been a very different story for Lee Sin. But as Lee Sin goes on and on more into the game, he gets more and more tanky, and because he doesn't actually have to rely upon mana, and it's just all he has to really worry about is becoming more and more durable, more and more sustained, because he's going to need to be the tank that the team needs, because other than that, it's just Olaf, and Olaf just does not have the same effect. He doesn't have that gap closer that Lee Sin does. Yeah.
Well, not really a gap closer. I mean, that axe alone is going to do a lot of damage, but, he's really not. I mean, he's still going to build an Atmogs, if I had to guess. The Atmos and Warmogs combination. I think that's pretty standard for most Olafs and Gangplanks and things of the sort, correct?
I'd be surprised if an Olaf went for the Atmogs, but I think it's still viable enough for a Lee Sin.
Huh.
Olaf, to me, it would seem to be a bit more prudent to go for a Hex Drinker.
Okay.
Into a Maw of Malmortius. That's just me, though. I mean, I always like to see a lot of lifesteal and cooldown reduction on an Olaf, because you need the lifesteal to get the trades for the true damage, and then the cooldown so you can keep casting true damage.
Interesting.
And an Atmogs doesn't give you either of that.
Like that.
So that's just me. Maybe I watch too much Dyrus,
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be it, man. Taking a look at the CS here, we see as the blue team is Fortune with 52, Lux 55 doing an excellent job in the middle. Ari actually leading all with 57, and Teemo, Teemo not getting. I know you're laughing. I missed it. Skarner die?
Yeah, Skarner died to red buff.
Okay, fantastic. I didn't see it.
That's okay.
The thing I'm worried about here for Teemo is that he is a character who does need CS. And, I mean, as he's getting a little bit from here and there, I mean, that's only going to hinder Graves, if anything.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, if he's getting the last hits, it means Graves, well, first of all, isn't, but it also could mean that he's missing or, not hitting nearly as much as he wants. Oh, Strato with the nuke!
Olaf's going to be chasing it down. Does he have the vicious strikes? He did throw down the ultimate, and down goes Strato. That is what is so terrifying about him. And this Gardner is level 6, is not going to go for the pull. And Olaf he's now going to go for the pull. He should have probably done that about 3 minutes ago. But nonetheless, he's still be rewarded the kill here, and he's going to get away just by the hair on his chinny chin, clear up these creeps, and probably go back to the house.
The problem with the pull there from TB Fanboy is that he didn't have any creeps to trigger the auto attacks on. I mean, he had to go right through an enemy creep wave, and he didn't want to register any of those calls for helps, because if you attack near minions, the minions are going to attack you. So that's why he had to kind of just wait a little bit closer to the tower. Sure, he took some tower hits, but in the end, he was able to still put out the damage, plus he got out of there for free. I think it would have been very different had he actually engaged at that massive creep wave.
Well, agree to disagree on this one, my friend.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No, you make a valid point. Very, very valid point.
I mean, that's what I did last night on my level 10 Smurf. They tried to 2v1 me top lane as Mundo. I just popped my ult, rode my creep wave, and they killed both of them for me. So, and they didn't bother ganking me again. So.
Hey, that works.
Yeah.
I actually saw that tweet.
Yeah.
About your 4-0-3 Mundo or whatever.
Yep, it was a good game. Now you see Strato coming down from mid. He was going to come in here for a gank, but he was spotted out by the ward. Thankfully, though, Soraka has the foresight to put down a ward of, I want to call it revealing, but I call it the purple ward. And
yeah, I call it the purple ward.
Ward of...
Or, actually, to be perfectly honest with you, I actually call it a vision ward, and I call a vision ward just a ward. Oh, the silence, that's going to be huge. Great job by Soraka, and the ultimate comes down with the yield, the universal. Oh, they were not able to get any kills. Their team was just going to be able to escape by. Good job, all in all. And now actually Strider's going to be able to clean up Olaf. In comes Skarner. He's going to be blinded by that, and he's probably going to have to retreat. Oh, no, he is not. He's going to try to go in here. Very, very dangerous. I'm going to be surprised if Graves doesn't kill him.
Yeah, TV Fanboy is way too far forward. Did not expect to see those mushrooms.
Wow.
Here we go. The flash into the buckshot is going to be a blue and red infused Graves, and that is not going to be good news for this bottom lane. That was a great cleanup on Strato that I did unfortunately miss, but in that bottom lane we had the Soraka heal, the Wish, the Infuse, and the Summoner heal all go off, and they still die to the massive combination of damages.
Yep. And sitting up on the top, Lee Sin will actually be able to hold his own in that battle against Xin Zhao. That's going to make it 1-1 in the top lane. Lee Sin doing a good job. I wonder what his ping is. At the beginning of the game, he did have like a 776 ping. But it seems to be doing all right now.
Wow, just look at the burst damage on top of this Foxfire Ari, which is an amazing skin in my opinion. This is why Strato does indeed like to go Lux. He has very much fun getting a little bit of cooldown and then just keep sniping people all game. And you can hear him spam laugh in that mid lane right now. Yep, that's what he does. But hey, we're 13.5 minutes in, more or less 13:25, 26, 27, 5-4 as the score, about 1,000 gold difference. No turrets, no dragons, just a few kills. Not the most, horrendous game that we've ever seen. It's actually quite even at this point, and I am a little bit of a fan of that.
Yeah, I am too, actually. And one thing I want to point out there is notice how Strato now is going to be returning to mid with the blue buff. That is something that is extremely important that I have noticed from just moving over to the ranked games just a little bit. By giving your AP mid that blue buff, she's got that cooldown reduction, she has that increase of mana. She's basically very, very awesome.
Yep.
And that is something that I am a big fan of. And Strato getting extremely aggressive there, not paying attention to Graves. Graves may be able to clean her up there. Olaf's coming in. Olaf will not be able to get her, and this Ignite will be able to take down Lux. Your boy Strato didn't play that one right.
Well, to be fair, the Clairvoyance machine Soraka was down. He did need that vision in order to get that kill, but he only missed by a hair. But still, if you miss by a hair, you still miss. And yeah, he unfortunately should not have gotten nearly as balls deep as he did, and that's going to lead to this free dragon, because bottom team blue, both dead, still respawning, and now mid also gone as well. They can still see Ovansam on top, which means it was only Skarner, and I'm fairly sure 3 of them have the confidence to take out a Skarner need be. So yeah, a good dragon about 14.5 minutes in. We'll see the next one around 20:30.
So that is what is exactly the timer?
6 minutes.
6 minutes?
Yep.
Very interesting.
6 minutes for Dragon, 7 minutes for Baron, 5 minutes for buffs.
Nice.
5, 6, 7. Yep. Yeah, it is the job of the support of the team, typically, or maybe even the jungler, it depends on how generous they're feeling, to actually type out the time that they killed the people in the chat so that they can have an accurate timer for later kills.
Ooh, Lee Sin's going to be able to ping pong his way, and Xin Zhao's actually going to pull him back, and that's going to give him another kill here. Xin Zhao is now going to go up in the lane, 2-1 over Lee. Now, morale-wise, Jester, yeah, you've been around the competitive play. The top lane, if you're winning your individual battles, you're pretty confident, right? All in all?
If you're winning one-on-one consistently top lane and you're not getting camped by a jungler, then yes, you're feeling on top of the world.
Okay. And now it is standard to throw that ward down right where it is, right below.
Well, more or less. I mean, there's some variations. I'm just looking at bottom lane in case something actually gets done here. Exhaust actually going down on top of Misfortune, but those are very safe wards right there, because you can see if they're going to come in through the tri-bush, and you can also see if they're coming in through the river. The other variation is to actually put one in the tri-bush. If you are consistently getting ganked from around the river movements, then yes, you would need to put one there as well. But that is a very safe and a very excellent early warning system for the top laners.
Gotcha. Well, taking a look down at the bottom lane, we see as Winia now is going to have 117 CS compared to Graves' 84. She is doing a good job, but unfortunately for her, Graves is 4-0. So Graves getting a little bit of the better half here in the sense of killing, but Misfortune doing an excellent job here at just kind of pushing this lane. And that's how it works, right? Normally when you're losing the lane, you want to push the lane in order to get the laning phase over for you, right?
If you're losing the lane, you typically don't want it pushed.
Really?
Because if you're pushing the lane and you're losing, it means that your opponents are stronger, and if you are closer to their turret, it means people can wrap around behind you and pincer maneuver you, which means you're going to keep losing that lane because you're dying a hell of a lot.
Huh.
Yep.
I was always under the impression of trying to get their turret down as fast as possible when you're losing the lane.
Not always the best idea, because then you have to consistently keep pushing farther and farther away from your safety net in order to creep kill, in order to team fight or engage, and that does allow a lot of freedom to junglers and mid lanes to wrap around behind, and now all of a sudden it's 2-on-4 and you have nowhere to go.
Well, I have no rebuttal to this, Jester. You have won this battle, my friend.
You'll even see sometimes pro teams intentionally leaving towers up just to prolong the laning phase if they're feeling really good.
Yeah, that especially when you're winning the lane. I mean, because then you get that extra gold from just killing them over and over again. It's a great decision in my opinion. I actually prefer that.
Now you can see the top lane terror, this Olaf going to town on top of Ovensema, but here comes Strata with the laser from afar, able to pick up the revenge kill, but it is a lot of true damage that Olaf is able to bring to the table. Down south, Awinia not looking so good. TB Fanboy, who did get jungle ganked by that Olaf while we were having our previous conversation, is now actually back up and about. He is going to be coming down here, trying to get some kind of pull going on either Teemo or Graves, but this is the problem with Teemo. Mushrooms everywhere. It's not going to save him this round, as he is going to be taking a lot of damage, and it should be a kill right there for Awinia. Yes, in comes a teleport. That's going to be Strato, and they are going to be going for this kill on top of Daniel Z. Now there we go, the flash and the binding. It's not going to be enough, but it does force out the flash of Graves, and that means he will live to see another day. But you see the usefulness of Teemo Shrooms in those bushes. It makes chasing him very, very hard.
Yeah, kiting Teemo is pretty much the standard, hence the universal taunt. This turret's going down exceptionally fast here, and they should be able to do that. And now it is a 4-on-3 scenario here. Skarner going in, he gets caught off a little bit off guard. In comes the Misfortune ult, doing heavy amounts of damage. The Strato ult will be missing. That, of course, being Lux. Lux taking heavy damage by Ari. She is ignited, and luckily Soraka will save her, but the mushroom, the surprise mushroom, I didn't even see it there, will actually take her out. Good job to Teemo. It's always rewarding when you're Teemo and you're in the death screen and you get a kill.
Now here comes Ovensema from that top lane. He's going to come in on top of Super 6 Scrub. Good choice because he was fairly low hit points, but now Miri not looking so hot on that mana. You can see the clairvoyance going off, gave us a lot of vision. Yes, there is no more tower, so we can continue this push. Awinia, she does have a strut that will kick in, but you do see the big black coming down. Daniel Z is going to trade himself in order to save the Ari. He does get himself a kill out of it, but Oven picks up a fly too.
Xin Zhao doing a good job in there, and he really tried his best to save Misfortune, saving that knockup. I don't know if it was just because it was on cooldown, but it almost seemed that he was just trying to wait till Misfortune was low enough health that he could bait it up. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit, but that's what I'm going with, so I want to say hats off to you, sir.
Yeah, puts them at a score of 10-13. They are actually up in gold while still being down in kills, and you can see the damage that he's able to do with that gap closer. You just jump right up in here into Scatcat, has to use that poison as well as the mushrooms, but it's not going to be enough because we have a Phage on Xin Zhao. That is exactly why Teemo could not get away in that circumstance.
So now Xin Zhao is going to be faced here against Ari. Ari should have no problem taking him down. That is very, very routine. They're not even going to look at Skarner. Instead, they are going to go for the universal gold of 190 through Dragon, which they shouldn't have any problem on, as Skarner actually and Misfortune are lining up for a little bit. In comes Soraka. And they're contemplating it. Then the red team's just going to leave it.
Well, they are getting forced out. It's more of them than there are us. Red
Wow.
team will still get that, though, with the smite from Super 6 Scrub, and now feeling really good about that. Though Graves ult, but it does not hit anyone. TB Fanboy is going to be taking a lot of damage from that. A true damage coming out from Olaf as well as Miri, and now Ewinia is going to get cut off from behind with the charm as well. Picks up a slick 2 kills for 0. And the Dragon. There was no circumstance there where they did not get an advantage, and now Strato has a Lee Sin right on top of him. It's a little hard to deal with that Lee Sin when he's up in front of your face. I'm a little surprised there's no Dragon kick, though.
Yeah, a smidge, but I mean, Strato did an excellent job by throwing down that slow and leaving it up and not triggering it, so that gave her an escape. And not to mention, Soraka did a good job coming in there and hitting him with the silence, so really he couldn't really do much.
Now, it does look like we're going to be putting up continued pressure in this bottom lane, while Olaf is actually going to be mid and split push into that tower. That's 2 lanes of pressure that blue team has to deal with, and it does look like Skarner is going to be the one to deal with it mid.
Well, both junglers here, he's actually going to go for the grab, and the turret was actually just then destroyed. He should be able to get this kill, though. And he is actually, I thought he was going to leave it for Lux, but instead he actually decided to take it. Either way, both of those players could use the kill. I mean, Skarner fed is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't think that was worth the death, however. I mean, the tower's going to go down, whether you like it or not. Should have probably left it and let the creeps deal with it. But at the same time, it's a great kill for Team Blue. Puts them, keeps them in the game. It's still 12-16. They are down a little bit, and now down 2 dragons. I mean, the global gold is starting to count for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, those dragons really add up, and I really don't know what blue team should be doing differently in order to secure those.
Now you can see Miri, trying to kite out TB Fanboy here. Actually lands a good charm, but Skarner is, he's rocking those Mercury treads, which means that we weren't able to get the combo. Strato with the snipe, however.
Yep.
Booyah.
This is what you were talking about, was the Strato snipe. Xin Zhao actually caught with his pants down. He is trying desperately to get out of there. Here comes a slow here. Olaf is so mad. You can just see him just charging through this. All 5 members still alive for blue team. They're desperately trying to run away. Olaf misses his axe. He's going to pick it up, and now he will get snared. Meanwhile, Miss Fortune taking heavy damage down. She goes in, hiding in the bush. He wants to kill Teemo, that universal taunt. And now Graves actually may be able to get a double kill here. Yes, he does. And now here comes the pull. And Strato is This is not looking good. Lux's basic attack does not do very much damage.
Yeah, neither does Soraka's. You can see the force flash out of her. The banana's not going to be landing a kill. And that's going to be a 3rd kill now for Graves. Has the blue, has the red, can keep this up all day with the lifesteal. And, that smoke bomb, smoke grenade, it's actually doing a lot of work in these tight corners, because he's able to land it upon 1, 2, sometimes even 3 people, and that denied vision makes him like shooting fish in a barrel. It's really, really crucial in these team fights.
Yeah, the one thing I have noticed about Graves being played at the professional level, he's one of the main reasons I want to buy it, is because when he shoots that smoke grenade, you can dash, and by getting the dash, you get the increased attack speed, but you get that angle on your opposition, and that puts you in such a better position than them. Yep. Which is extremely important. This game's all about positioning as well. Look at the new Xin Zhao art clearing out all minions, and now he's going to wait for his teammates here. In comes the ult. Olaf is actually not going to take very much damage there from that Lux ult.
Maw of Malmortius, man. It's exactly as I told you.
I mean, hey, you know better than I use your solo mids guides, so that's probably not in there, so I blame you for that.
Not to worry. You can see the Misfortune ultimate is landing a lot of generic damage across the board, and TB Fanboy with a clutch heal coming out from Soraka, keeping him alive. You can see the shield from Strato coming out as well, ensuring that nobody goes down, but 3 team members on Team Blue not looking so good, and look at Scatcat getting out of there with 70 hit points to his name.
It's such a cliche Teemo move. It's so cliche. He escapes barely, puts on his little movement speed, and then lays down a mushroom and gets out of there. Graves actually in a position now. He's actually going to go in. In comes the smoke grenade, and he's actually going to turn on Skarner. Will he be able to get that kill? No, he didn't stay with it at all, and now here comes the heal, and it is going to be a 4-on-3 scenario here. I think red team's about to just back out of this one.
Yeah, we've seen a
What are you
lot.
chuckling about?
We've seen a lot of Sirocco wishes, you know, keeping people alive. You can see that, you know, Lee Sin, he's in and around doing a lot of safeguarding as well. As I said, plays ping pong majority of the game, dashes to enemy, hit them, safeguards out, and the safeguard shields acts a lot like the Strato shield. So I mean, we have a lot of extra temporary hit points flying all over the places, and we're seeing some of these clutch escapes.
Yeah. Very, very clutch escapes. Olaf coming down into the bot lane, going to pick up a little bit of CS here and then head back to the house. And really here, red team up by a little bit more than $1,000. And as I look at it, I mean, really, Ari and Graves doing an excellent job with CS, but Olaf only has 94.
Well, that's been in the jungle. You know, it's all about the jungle. Scat Cat about to drop. Teemo is not going to be getting out of that one. And, you know, he might have 94, but that's because he's been in and around a lot more lane presence, trying to do a lot more games. So, like, look at his kills versus Skarner's. 564 to 265. You know, he's been more involved in some of these team fights, which means he's less time in the jungle. No surprise.
Strato just trying to feel it out here, and look, red team going for a surprise bush. This is one of my favorite things, as blue team should be able to get this dragon. Oh no, in comes Graves. He is instantly pounced on, and now the misfortune ult, and Graves is going to get a kill, and he is barely going to dodge the Lux ult. It is unbelievable. He is going to escape. What?
That did not look like a miss to me. That looked like a hit.
That was a hit.
Apparently it wasn't. No.
Poor Strato.
Yeah. Instead, he's going to take a little bit of revenge out on top of Olaf. But again, third dragon going to Team Red. It was a really good kill right there. You know, Olaf, they got the kill, and he's like, well, there's a dragon right there banging on people. Just goes out to it, smites it, gets the third kill. We'll see the next one around 34 minutes. And, yo, good game, well played. They're up in kills, they're up in gold, they're up in turrets. It's looking good for Team Red.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're about to see the turrets passed up or tied up, but notice how I don't know how important it is in the whole scheme of things, but Lee Sin keeping this top lane pushed all the way. That's going to force Xin to go up there to clear out that minion wave, and now they have a 5-on-4 in the middle of the map. So they do have positioning here, and now they're able to protect this mid turret, go back to the base, and buy.
Well, for the exact reason that you listed is the exact reason why Shen is banned out majority of the time, because Shen can take it one step further. You can be 4 members in the mid, and Shen can be off side pushing a lane, but he doesn't actually have to leave it, because as soon as the team fight starts, he just ults to a teammate, and bam, it's a 5-on-5, and if you leave someone in the mid to go face Shen, well, your team just has to initiate, and bam, now it's a 5-on-4 in your favor. That's why he's banned out a lot, and it is very important to see these split pushes on these teams, because it does spread out the pressure. It forces your enemy team to react, which means you can then drive home like nails in, I don't know, something you drive nails into a coffin. There you go.
Yeah, I guess nails into a coffin. That's more like the cliche, like, you know, you put the nail in the coffin like it's done. You know, I don't know. I'm not a
enough
I'm
nails
not a
and you close the door. You close the deal. Right?
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with this.
Okay. No worries. But score, you know, 2015, we are up about 2k gold. As I said, a lot of global being brought into it, and you can see, you know, a lot of the items people have finished up. What did Lee Sin end up doing? He still has that phage, but he went a bit more offensive with that last whisper, which is a little confusing to me because there's only a Skarner and a Xin Zhao in terms of armor. Nobody else is really building armor, and those are tanks anyways. I mean, you want to kind of go on the squishies, just like this. Teemo getting hit by that ultimate from TV Fanboy, taking a lot of damage, and bam, there goes the snipe from Strato. That's what you want to do. You want to hit these squishies. Winnie is throwing down that ultimate mid Super 6 scrub, not looking so good. TV Fanboy may be able to get that, but he instead turns around. We take out the Lee Sin, and you can see Foxfire Ari here just having to use the ultimate to dash away. Strato with the flash and the binding is going to miss, but now that we have 2 down, plus Olaf really, really low hit points, we know the Graves ult is down, we know the Ari's ult's down. They're either going to push mid in for 2 inhibitors, or they're going to go hit the Baron.
I'm not sure we're going to see a Baron here as Graves is doing just an exceptional amount of damage, and he is going to live again from that ultimate. Lux is just getting so unfortunate. I mean, that literally took him down to 40 HP. But wow, Lux should have really had 2 kills there, in my opinion, on Graves.
All about the clutch saves. I mean, we've seen, again, a lot of temporary hit points flying around. The Maw of Malmortius kept Super 6 Scrub up. We've been seeing a lot of safeguards, a lot of Strato Shields. We've been seeing the wishes come out from Soraka. You know, these clutch escapes don't happen by accident.
Yeah, so now as things start to slow down a little bit here, we see as this ward's going to be expiring in Baron, and now it's just going to be pretty much slow. So how do you go to set up for the Baron in this situation?
You ward it up, and you can either force a fight or bait a fight. If you're going to be forcing a fight, then you're probably going to be doing it somewhere in the top to middle lane, and you need a really good position to drop on your enemies because you need to win the fight very convincingly. That's a great way to get yourself a free Baron. The other way to do it is make it look like you're going to go to Baron, and then ambush when the enemy team comes to fight it. So
now, of course, by that you mean you know that most likely they have it warded. So you go over there and you sit around, and then you may hit it once to just kind of bait it, and then they come in the very standard way.
Yep, but that's why oracles are very important here. You can see 2 blue members rocking those oracles, looking for wards to clear out. Because you clear out the wards, and then you make a big show of going over there. That's how you bait out a Baron.
Huh. So you don't even have to worry about hitting it.
That was a really good escape, by the way, from Cloud. I really expected him to drop.
Yeah.
But hey, he kept his oracles. You always have to remember, when you have your oracles on, you're not just a death, you're a death plus 350 non-refundable gold.
Yeah.
That also makes you a big target to your enemies.
Zen's not going to hesitate. He's going to fly in. In comes the Lux ult. In comes the Misfortune ult. They have a lot of damage here. Olaf will go down. Lee Sin now is going to be forced to run away. Graves taking heavy amounts of damage by Skarner. Down he goes to Lux 2 alive now, as Teemo is actually going to be caught down, or not caught, he's going to actually escape down here in the bottom, and he may push this lane, but it looks like blue team is going to start on this Baron, but they're all kind of weak.
They only need 1 tank, and it's going to be TB Fanboy. Or, oh, it's going to be Oven Sama. But you can actually swap out tanks here. This isn't like Smite or Heroes of Newerth, where the first person that attacks it, he stays on him. You can actually alternate tanks by whoever's closest to him, he's going to attack. So you can actually control who they're going to hit. Now, this was a great free Baron. We killed 2 of them. We kept 2 of them really low health. We knew Teemo was bottom, so he's very far away. And there was no ultimates left in order to try to snipe that. It was an excellent Baron from Blue. And again, they chose the route of force a team fight. Ova and Sama went in order to make this opportunity happen. Otherwise, they would have not gone in.
Huh.
Yep.
You know, is there a way to see respawn times on this?
They're on the portraits on your left and right hand side.
Oh, fantastic. I've actually didn't even notice those things were up there, to be honest with you, my friend.
Next time someone dies, take a look at them. They'll be grayed out with a red. You can also see if they've used their summoners or their ultimates. For example, Olaf
I see it.
has a little timer on it. It's a little doled out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how you know if stuff was used.
And they're actually going to get the dragon now. So blue team surpassing in gold, tied in turrets here, but that gold is so important. I mean, that Baron alone is going to really make the difference, and then they finally got their dragon. I'm pretty sure that's their first dragon of the game.
I believe so as well. Yep.
Yeah. Red team's been doing an excellent job. Yeah, they just got that stole the last time, and now finally blue team. Oh my goodness, and Lux is actually going to steal the blue right from Ari's face.
Textbook Strato.
Excellent job.
Now, you know, I was looking at the very beginning of this game, and looking at Cloud, who went Flash Clairvoyance, I was like, well, that's really old school, because you don't usually see Clairvoyance used a lot more. But then I remembered, we have a Strato on the team. He probably told Cloud to get that Clairvoyance. Otherwise, you probably would have seen an Exhaust on Soraka.
Yep. And the Exhaust is extremely important. I actually just became a fan of that myself. It just really helps with your AD carry
doesn't it?
In that early laning phase.
Yep. See, I think that's why we're seeing more of a transition back to Ignite or double exhaust in the bottom lane. I see less and less heals going off, but Oven somehow going to need a heal after this. Oh my goodness, 2 of red just dropped so very quickly. A Misfortunate as well as the Lux ult coming out, and this was going to be the 3rd kill, a double for Misfortune. They're going to go straight past, and that is the power of the Baron. It just adds so much more potency to these team fights, and there's really nothing Team Red could have done about that except give up their turrets, which, guess what, they're going to do that anyways. We have 3 down, they're going to lose that turret, this turret, the inhibitor, we might even lose a Nexus turret at the rate we're going, but a very strong team fight from Team Blue right there.
The earliest one coming off the respawn is going to be Teemo. They have 15 seconds. They may actually be able to do some significant damage to this first turret. They may be able to take it down.
Oh, the pain train's rolling.
Looks like they're going to. They are just rolling through it. Zinzal's going to be a little bit of a distraction here. In comes Stratos. Stratos throwing down some fire here. The basic attack doing still little damage, but gets melted by the laser. And it looks like that's going to be all she wrote for Team Red.
Good game. Well played. You know, we were down at one point, about 2,000 gold, 15 to 20 was the score for Team Blue, but you know, they rallied, they brought it back. An excellent team fight gets them a Baron, which wins them the game. It's pretty much that simple.
Yeah, and the one thing, I mean, really, Blue team did an excellent job coming together there. We saw as a collective did an excellent job. We saw ults going down simultaneously, Zinzao getting in, actually being the initiator, so Skarner could end up weaseling his way in and get a hold of someone who's a little bit squishier. Always good signs there.
Always good times. I do want to just quickly look at the final builds here of some of our characters. So Teemo ended up being AP, but it doesn't really look like he was really able to get off to a good start. 365, as you did say, not a lot of creep kills, like compare that to Graves. So they could have probably picked out this team a little bit better in that regard. The Lee Sin top was cool, but we really needed something of a support in that bottom lane.
Absolutely. We watched it from the first game that you and I casted. The Taric Graves is an excellent combination. Not to mention Sona got a little bit of a buff now, so you could have seen a Sona down bot. I don't know how she is really in competitive play. That's more or less your sense, but I am always a fan of a Sona.
At the same time, I do know that Frank Miri, the Ari, is level 19, so I'm not going to press him too hard. He did end up going 1-2-6, and 2 is actually the least amount of deaths in the game. But unfortunately for him, he just was not able to make the items flow. I mean, he did start off with the Sork shoes into the double Dorans, but then he went a little bit more of a pre-patch build with the Rylai's Crystal Scepter. I realized that he figured he did need that extra tankiness factor, but because of his score plus the combination of his team, just dying, he was never able to get that rabbit on. So this is what I mean by Auri nerf. If you go for that tankiness first, you're going to end up suffering unless you can snowball.
Huh. Very, very interesting.
Yep.
And the great thing is I think we're going to see a lot of Zinzao play in the next upcoming tournament, whatever it is. His ultimate just does so much damage, and it's such a good way of clearing your opposition out,
We're probably going to see a lot more play of him as well as Twitch and Eve. I mean, these guys are stealth remakes, and they're looking to be extremely fearful in some of these matchups. I'm very interested to see in these next few tournaments coming up if we're going to see a bit of a shift of meta into more of a stealth-based game.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, man. Well, I need to be getting to bed, my friend.
Yep.
Or at least getting off for a bit. I got to go check in with my mom. She's sick.
Not to worry, sir.
Yeah, no, it's no worries. She's fine. It's just she's a complainer when she's sick. You know how women are,
No comments. No comments.
But I want to thank you for everything you have done.
Yeah.
We should do this more often.
Sure.
I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah. No, for sure. If this is something that you're going to get more and more into, you might as well go in armed with knowledge, right?
Indeed. And I mean, if there's one thing I've learned is you're a cornucopia of knowledge, my friend.
And to a degree. Yep, I can list off easily 5 more people more knowledgeable than I, but
okay, I hate you. All right, well, thanks again. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Send me your feedback. Just let me know I suck, so that I can go to sleep with a smile on my face. Other than that, thank you again. Peace, man.
Yep, take care, dude.